Welcome to Sports Talk.
Hello everyone, welcome. This is Nick from Top Notch Sports, and today we're going to be going over the Minnesota Vikings salary review and offseason moves for 2023. Under rookie head coach Kevin O'Connell and quarterback Kirk Cousins, the team went 13-4, finishing first place in the NFC North. After a long, hard-fought season, they would lose ultimately to the Giants in the first round of the playoffs. Very disappointing finish to what was an amazing season throughout the entire season. Now, looking at this team, it was very solid all around. There's not too many places that need to be upgraded, and that's what we're going to be doing this video, is looking at what this team may be doing this offseason to prepare themselves to make a run in 2023. With that being stated, this is a mock offseason. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If you're not new to this channel, welcome back. Let's hop right into this thing. Here we are. Here's the first slide, our expected starters that are currently under contract. These are the guys that are currently under contract and that are not upcoming free agents or do not need a contract extension. On the next slide, we'll show you guys upcoming free agents and the guys that need extensions to come back to this team. With that being stated, you see in the top left corner of your screen that the Minnesota Vikings are a negative $7.2 million in cap space. This means that they got to cut people to save money to get back into the positives. With that being stated, the guys in green on the slide are the people that if you cut them, you save money. Guys in red, you cut them, you lose money. So a quick example, if you were to cut Zadarius Smith, you would save $12.3 million. If you were to cut Andrew Booth, you would lose $2.6 million. So take a look at the screen. Let me know what you would think. Some guys just throwing them around because of high cap hits that you save money. You got to look into Zadarius Smith. You got to look into Eric Kendricks and Jordan Hicks and Harrison Smith. Now, again, most of these guys are really good players on this team, and even they look on the defensive side of the offensive side of the football, Brian O'Neill, Dalvin Cook, and Adam Thielen. When I look at this slide, the guys that played good this season are the ones with the high cap hits. Therefore, I do not see this team really cutting most of, if any of these players, to be honest with you, at all. Now, a few small cuts here and there, small guys maybe, but again, I just don't see this team cutting a lot of guys. And a quick example here, too, even if they were to go out and cut someone like Zadarius Smith, they would only net 5 positive. They would only be positive $5 million in cap space. You're not signing anybody with $5 million that's any good. You might get a role player. So there's really no reason to blow up this team or cut a really good player because you're in such negative cap space right now. You're not working your way out of it unless you cut multiple good players on this team. This slide's our notable losses. Now, real fast, the percent of snaps played. The percent of snaps played is calculated for guys that were active during the game. If they were active during the game day roster and they were benched or they didn't play, then the percentage gets counted against them. If they were on the IR or they were hurt and they weren't on the active game day roster, it wouldn't count against them. With this being stated, you guys might be like, why are you even saying that? Well, there might be a guy here that only played, was hurt the entire season, only played 2 games, and it might say they played 90% of the snaps. If that happens, the reason why is because if they were not active during the game day roster, those snaps don't get held against them. So here we go. First things first, center, Garrett Bradbury. Expected contract is a 4-year, $47.7 million contract. He played 99% of the snaps. Next guy, tight end Irv Smith. Expected contract is a 2-year, $20.5 million deal. Played 54% of the snaps. And next guy, defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson. Expected contract is a 3-year, $25.5 million deal. He plays 63% of the snaps. And last but not least, cornerback Patrick Peterson. His expected contract is a 1-year, $6.4 million deal. He played 97% of the snaps. A good rule of thumb typically is guys that play a high percentage of the snaps, and when the team usually has the cap space, as long as they play well and play a good percent of the snaps, typically they get brought back. Now, again, the Vikings have negative cap space, so unless we make a lot of moves, most of these guys won't be coming back. Here we are. Here are potential targets. Estimated cap space were negative $7.2 million. Estimated cuts, none. Now, I'm sure, again, they're going to cut some players. I just don't think it's enough significance to bring in a good player. With that being stated, if you have negative money, the only thing you can do is franchise tag a player. I don't see them franchise tagging one of the players that are available. It's just not worth paying top dollar for those guys. With that all being mentioned, you look at the team needs. You need a wide receiver, center, offense tackle, defense tackle, edge rusher, cornerback, safety. Well, in the first round, we got you drafting Siaki Ika at the defensive tackle. In the third round, we got you taking center Ricky Stromberg. And again, if you do both these things here, right, We're filling in that center need by drafting Ricky, and we're filling in a defensive tackle need by doing Siaki. With that being mentioned, again, you got 4th round, 5th round, 6th round, 7th round pick maybe. You can take those picks and then invest into the wide receiver you might need, offensive tackle you might need, edge rusher, cornerback, safety again. But for the most part, unless you guys hire some great accountants, which I'm sure you will do, and you'll find some cap space, I don't see you guys having a good free agency. But again, you're not really losing a lot of guys either. And through the draft, I think you can at least fill in 2 guys that could be potentially starters. All right, here we are. Negative $7.2 million. Color scheme in this. If you see yellow, that means they're a placeholder. Fortunately, you guys don't have any placeholders that we deem that is not a good player that needs to be filled in immediately. Green, which you don't see green either. Those would be players that you signed at a free agency. Don't have money, can't sign nobody. Orange, re-signed players or players that get franchise tagged. None of them either because you were in the negatives. And last but not least, pink would be traded, and you don't have that. So the one color you do see is light blue. The light blue guys are the guys that get drafted. You drafted Ricky Stromberg. You drafted Siaki Ika. Immediate starters, in my opinion, on this team. Starting center, starting defensive tackle. You guys let me know, though. Maybe you guys get someone up and coming at center or up and coming at D tackle that I don't know about. Let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to know it. But long story short, you guys went 13-4 this past season. Looking at this roster, you got a good tackle, in Darsol and O'Neal. You had 2 pretty dang good guards, and you're bringing in a rookie center. You got Dalvin Cook, a phenomenal running back. You got Osborne, Jefferson, and Thielen. You probably want to add a little bit of depth, though, to the receiving room. You got a phenomenal tight end, one of my favorite tight ends in the entire league, in TJ Hawkinson. You got Andrew Booth, who I was pretty high on coming out of the draft, and Caleb Evans, Daniil Hunter, and Zadarius Smith, 2 good edge rushers. You got a pretty dang decent interior defensive line. Eric Kendricks and Jordan Hitch, who are a tackling machine. And last but not least, Harrison Smith and Cameron Byram. Overall, this team went 13-4 in the NFC North last season. They finished 1st in the NFC North. With the Bears having $120.7 million in cap space and having the 1st overall pick and probably being able to acquire more draft capital because of it, I feel like they will be contending a lot more than what people are thinking. The Green Bay Packers, as long as Aaron Rodgers comes back, they make some moves in the draft, I feel like they will become more of a contending team. The Detroit Lions, as long as they make some moves and they hold on to most of their guys and they got a ton of draft capital and a decent amount of money, as long as they keep their team the same and go into year 3 of Dan Campbell, they're going to compete in this division. With all this being mentioned, I feel like the Minnesota Vikings aren't getting much better in this offseason. But they're going into year 2 of Kevin O'Connell, which means that they're only going to learn and improve on the offensive side of the football. With that being mentioned, I think the Minnesota Vikings lose a few extra games in the regular season. I think they go 11-6 this upcoming season in a much tighter, much tougher NFC North. I still feel like they win the division, and I feel like next year the Minnesota Vikings win a playoff game next season. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I hope you like this video. If not, then let us know too. We want to hear feedback, what you would do, what you would not do. And besides that too, again, this is for entertainment purposes. Hopefully you enjoyed this video at the very least. Let us know what you think. We'll see you guys soon. Peace. We are Built Better.